This week on American Rifleman TV, we're going to venture forth into the night with handguns, rifles, and shotguns, all equipped with lights and lasers for the Crimson Trace Midnight 3-Gun Invitational.
The objective of the Midnight 3-Gun is to make sure that all the media members across the U.S. that are in the shooting sports industry learn about lasers, shooting a night competition, and that they can effectively and safely relay that information to their readers and customers. And so we've got manufacturers here, we've got riders testing gear, and it's a learning experience. And so they can effectively communicate to readers or to viewers about what it is to have a firearm with a laser on it, and the advantages it gives you, especially at night.
We have 9 stages out here for the next 4 days, and they range anywhere from long-range rifle shot, 100, 150 yards, all the way down to handgun ranges from 7 to 10 yards. And again, this is all happening in complete darkness. You're fatigued, you're stressed, you're under high pressure, and under the cover of complete darkness, that really is the biggest challenge.
Well, we're on stage 5. Stage 5 requires rifle and shotgun work. I think there's 10 targets that we got to neutralize with the rifle and 8 targets we got to neutralize with the shotgun. So if I do everything right, I'll need about 20 rounds of rifle, 2 rounds per target to neutralize, and 1 round per shotgun, so 8 rounds for the shotgun. But that's if I do everything right. And with it being pitch black, probably ain't gonna happen. Mark, we're out here having a lot of fun. We're putting a lot of ammo down range, shooting a whole bunch of different targets with rifles, pistols, shotguns, but are we learning anything?
I think I've probably learned 3 things. It's hard to shoot at night, harder to shoot at night than it is during the day. I need a lot of work with my pistol shooting, and 3-gun is a lot of fun to do.
Well, what do you think of the lasers from Crimson Trace as far as how they help you target these targets at night?
Oh, I think they're just amazing. I used to think you used the laser just because you couldn't shoot or something, but the way you can get on a target, even during the daylight, but especially at night, I hardly see why you wouldn't have one on at least your household gun anyway.
At Crimson Trace Midnight 3-Gun, guys are utilizing products all the range of the Crimson Trace line. Laser grips, laser guards, MVF 515, and the MVF 600, which happen to be foregrips for ARs. We also have our Railmasters, which is essentially lasers, lights, and their universal fit.
I hope they take away from this event a similar thing to what the police officers learned when we start putting lasers on their J-frame revolvers, that shooting with lasers and lights brings another aspect, another tool to your firearm that in the right situation is valuable and could be a lifesaver for you. For situations in law enforcement or SWAT when they need to maneuver, go through doors, sometimes carrying an M4 in one hand, opening doors, pushing away from things. It allows them to see where their muzzle's pointed at all times, and also be able to, the same effect, be able to focus on the threats and put the sight picture on the threats that are there, and if need be, do what they need to do.
3 Crimson Trace products particularly well suited to shooting rifles in low light conditions are the Railmaster Light, the Railmaster Laser, and the MVF 515 light laser combo. All of these products allow you to identify your target and make the shot count when seconds matter.
What most people know us for are laser grips, which is a handgun product. About 3 or 4 years ago, we started development on a product called the MVF 515, which is the modular vertical foregrip. And our intent there was to give the same accuracy and confidence boost to people who use long guns. The modular vertical foregrip is our commercial version of something that we developed for the military. So it's a little bit complicated, and frankly it's fairly expensive. So we now offer the Railmaster, which attaches to handguns, and it attaches to Picatinny rails on ARs, which again gives the shooter both a laser or a light to be able to go out and recreationally become more accurate and more confident shooters with their rifles.
Well, both units have their place. Depending on what type of weapon system or your budget, you can find something for you with Crimson Trace. The MVF, which stands for the Modular Vertical Foregrip, contains a laser and a white light combination, which for the tactical operator, home defense person, or military operator is a great benefit. The other is the Railmaster, and the Railmaster comes with either a laser or a light. Both units are fully ambidextrous, which means you can work them from either left side or right side, and it makes that really user-friendly.
Now, on the modular vertical foregrip, you have the option of a constant on or a momentary.
In competitive shooting, maybe not such a big deal, although it is nice to have that laser on consistently so that through recoil you're not bumping the laser on and off. But definitely in tactical operations, law enforcement, military operations, home defense, there's a time and a place for the light to be on or off.
The one thing that I think in a high-stress situation that feature brings is the tunnel vision is going to be on the threat. And what the laser allows you to do is put the sight picture where your tunnel vision is. And that is probably one of the most important things that I think that lasers do.
One thing that's been real obvious here at the Crimson Trace Midnight 3-Gun Invitational is how effective lights and lasers can be on long gun in competition. But Fred, that effectiveness translates to a self-defense situation as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like when you practice about magazine releases, trigger press and all that, it's also acquiring your target as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So what this is really showing people is that training with your lasers, training with your firearms, be proficient.
And another aspect of that training is the stress level that competition induces.
Yeah, you have to know your equipment.
You know, the question gets asked of us a lot, why did you invent the light guard? We invented the light guard for handguns so that we could help people eliminate the need to use their free hand to hold a separate lighting system. And the same thing applies to the MVF 515. The advantages are so big to be able to have a light and a laser manipulated by one hand. It's one less thing you have to think about.
A part of the ergonomics and the development of the ergonomics into our design, one of the key things, especially on long guns, we definitely want to take a look at snags. You know, you're putting a lot of stuff on the rail, but you got to consider where that rail's going, and it's on the end of your gun. So if you're going through the woods, you're going through a 3-gun stage, you're going through your house, you don't want things piling up on it. So, you know, we try our best to make it as small as possible.
All of our laser sighting systems at Crimson Trace, we zero them at the factory before we send them to you, and they're zeroed at 50 feet. We make it really easy to adjust all of the systems. We have windage and elevation, so you can make micro adjusts. And the real benefit of our design is that if you need to, or if you want to take it off the rails and put it away for a while, and then you put it back on days, weeks, or months later, you don't have to zero it again. You just attach it back to the rails, and it remains at the zero you put it on when you took it off.
Well, Chris, let's talk about how we zero it.
Well, zeroing is actually really easy. All the Crimson Trace lasers have a horizontal, adjustment and a vertical adjustment. They're really simple to move. One of the things that it's important to know is they're not like scope caps or scope optics where they click and move. These are just kind of a tension movement in there, the screw. Now, since we've got the laser mounted on the side of the rifle, it's going to make them kind of opposite, but either way, we're driving the laser to the sights.
We've got what looks to be about maybe 2 inches or so between the center line of the bore and where the laser comes out of the Railmaster unit. How does that relate to zeroing this unit and where your impact's going to be?
Even though you zero the laser at 25, and that's exactly where the bullets are printing, it's a good idea to shoot on paper all the way in and then probably all the way back out and beyond your 25, so you can see the path and the trajectory of the bullet as it correlates with the laser.
And at close ranges, though, we're talking at the max, we're going to have 2 inches.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever this measurement is. So for a self-defense situation, it's probably going to be good enough.
One of the things that Crimson Trace provides is absolute sureness of where your bullet's going to go. And being in a self-defense situation, I would definitely want to know that wherever that laser's going to be is where that bullet's going to go. And especially in urban environments and suburban environments where people live, you have to understand where that bullet is and essentially going to leave your building.
Whether it be for 3-gun competition or home defense, the shotgun is a very popular tool. But in either situation, you need to first identify your target. And the Crimson Trace Railmaster Light allows you to do that.
Because we're predominantly known as a laser sighting system company for handguns, we really felt like we needed to give the competitive shooter as well as the recreational shooter products that they can attach that weren't either quite as expensive or quite as complicated as the MVF 515.
One thing to keep in mind is that these Railmaster units aren't limited just to AR style rifles. And they're pretty handy accessories to have on a home defense shotgun as well.
Even though this is my competition shotgun, this is a real common platform for defensive shotgun. It's a Benelli M1. The only difference is here I've got a little longer gun, I've got a longer magazine tube. But look at the way I've got my Railmaster mounted out here, and this is just a white light. It's very simple for me to reach forward, bump that light on, and then I can go to business. I can reach forward, bump that light off. With the paddle operations, it goes on and off either way. As long as I just hit one of those paddles, it's going to turn it on or turn it off.
Very simple accessories, these Railmasters or these MVF foregrips, but when you mount them on a long gun, they can provide a whole bunch of advantages when it comes to a defensive situation.
You know, at Crimson Trace, why we exist is to enhance people's ability to protect home, family, and country. So we predominantly build products for the consumer for personal protection. Whether the product is something as technically advanced as the MVF 515 or our laser grips or laser guards for handguns, or all the way down to the Railmasters, our #1 goal is to give shooters the ability to protect themselves, and personal protection is what we do.